Consider the undecided voter. You're probably like, that's all I do. It's like 3 full-time jobs as the election sneaks up on us like Donald Trump behind Hillary Clinton at a town hall debate. Every time you pick up your phone, some notification screams, but what about the undecided voters, you snuggly bastard? And this is who we imagine the undecided voter is.
Before you get our vote, you're gonna have to answer some questions. Questions like,
when is the election?
What are the names of the 2 people running? And be specific.
Who is the president right now?
How long is a president's term of office? 1 year? 3 years? Or life?
Can women vote?
We hear a lot about our dependence on foreign oil, but just what is oil?
Can a woman have a baby just from French kissing? Where's my power cord?
Remember that from SNL? Cable news is addicted to the undecided voter. And you know it's a scam, and not just because the people they pick are usually some swinging book banner who voted for Donald Trump even when Mitt Romney was on the ballot. Because it gives us this perception that the voters we should care about most are these human weather vanes who vote based on the last question Jake Tapper asked Pete Buttigieg. That's why I'm asking you to consider the voters who are undecided about even voting. These are the much more critical voters, at least the progressives. These people who are young, black, people of color, LGBT. They're completely disenchanted by a government. The conservatives spent half a century making sure government cares more about checking their P or IDs or library books than getting them healthcare or anything they care about. They aren't going to vote for Trump. Chances are they're not going to even vote at all. Republicans have spent decades trying to keep them away from the polls, scaring them, making it tedious, making it seem like it doesn't matter, and proving that by sabotaging pretty much everything they can sabotage. These are not people you can shame into voting. There's not going to be a digital ad that suddenly makes them fall in love with VP Harris's opportunity agenda when they're working multiple low-wage jobs and can't find childcare. How do we make sure that not only do these people get to the polls, but that our system actually changes enough to keep them engaged so they win the kind of power they deserve? The Movement Voter Project is the answer. At least it's a big part of the answer. You may remember, you may not have ever heard, or you may not even care that I hired myself to work for democracy in February. Since then, I've used my time to try to get you, the people who care the most about news and democracy, or accidentally listen to this, the best information about what you can do to ensure that you had the fewest possible regrets in November. We focused on exposing Project 2025 early on. We told the unsung story of this administration's success in shifting to a cleaner economy that works for workers. And when it came to money, I said, go down. We focused on state power, mainly in Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and also on state Supreme Courts. Now, verily, I say to you, it's time to focus on voter turnout, and a very specific kind of voter turnout. Voter turnout of sporadic, progressive-leaning voters, not just in November, but for the rest of our lives. People repeatedly say, you said it, I'm sure, I'm sick of having to save democracy every 4 years. Well, I get it, 100% as the kids say. But if you want to stop having to save democracy every 4 years, we must do 2 things. Number 1, beat Donald Trump, who is a unique threat to democracy for a variety of freaky reasons that you and Laura Loomer probably already get. Number 2, invest in organizing that reaches low propensity, high opportunity voters, not just for November, but definitely for November, but forever. Zoe Toby is the communication director at Movement Voter Project, which is like a mutual fund to fund local political organizing, not just during election season, but all year round. The group recently sent out a bat signal, a warning. Democratic local ground game is badly underfunded. You probably just had the same thought that everybody screamed at me when I shared this news. How the hell could this be true given how much money VP Harris is raising? I asked Zoe that. He has a great answer. And the Movement Voter Project has an excellent answer for how we can stop having to save democracy every 4 years. The answer is that we have to save it every year, all the time. The Movement Voter Project makes that easy and smart for us to help fund, and it's a sin not to do because it's so easy and smart. So that's why we're launching the last early worm fundraiser of the election. We will try to raise $20,024 for the Movement Voter Project, which they will then send out to local organizers who are not only our best hope to win in November, but to keep democracy alive for the rest of the century. I'm setting up a monthly donation right now, right after this podcast. And all my homework's done, and my daughter's off to ballet, and I hope you'll do the same.